So thank you so much, Claire, who's disappeared just now from my screen, for coming along tonight. I really, really do appreciate it.
No problem.
For everybody who's tuning in, Claire and Chrissy's business is going absolutely phenomenal. I know that she's probably got to share a wee bit of her journey and what they went through in the last couple of years, so I'm not going to steal their thunder. But without any further ado, can I just introduce Clare? Kinsella.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so obviously I've got a lot of your questions and things, and I have looked through them ready, and I've done a few bits of slides. So I'll just share my screen. Some of the questions you've asked may be answered in the slides as well, to be honest, but I can go over that anyway. So just bear with me. Oh, I've missed my first slide. Right, okay. Well, anyway, I did have another slide at the beginning, but I'll get to this in a second. So, yeah, basically, any of you that don't know me and Chris, we've been in the business now for 4 years. For the first couple of years, we were a bit slow going, really. We didn't get off to a fast start. And in the last 2 years, it has took off really well for us. So a little bit about us. I'm a hairdresser. I have been for 20 years now, and it's all I'd ever done. And I wasn't looking for any other career. I wasn't looking to change jobs or an extra income or anything. And it was Chris that came across Clean Easy. He tried to get me involved with it, and at first I wasn't really having much to do with it. I'll be honest. I was happy letting him, put the catalogues out and things, but I could see that there was potential in Clean Easy, but at that point there was nothing really pushing us to do it. I quickly fell in love with Clean Easy. Not long after, to be honest, I started going along to some meetings and things, and I did start to see the potential. But for us, there was a lot to do with the fact I weren't sure whether I could do it all, to be honest, with work, and I had lots of doubts in my head whether I could manage everything that we were doing whilst running my hair salon and 3 kids. But we did, and we got stuck in with it. We got going with it, but it wasn't really getting off to a fast start because we wasn't able to put in a lot of work that I think that we really needed to get hit the ground running. So we were just plodding along, really. And then we qualified for Jamaica on a below gold league table. So it's similar to like the second part criteria to Mexico that we've just had. That was like open to anyone. But there was 3 separate league tables. So this one was purely for people that were below gold. So we knew we were competing against people at the same type of level for us, which gave us a bit more belief that we could do it. So we started to, really get going with it because we wanted to go to Jamaica. And we did qualify for Jamaica. And ever since then, our business has grown, mainly because we went along to Jamaica. And for one, we were experiencing a lifestyle we didn't ever want to give up again. We wanted to be on more trips. We started to see the potential of what we had in our hands and everything. And it's just made us really want it more and more since then. But what happened was the online side changed everything for us. And it wasn't necessarily that online selling is better than catalogue selling, because for us, our retail comes from catalogues. We have a catalogue customer base and we do a bit online, but that's where our sales come from. So it's not that I think it's better. We do encourage everyone in our team to do catalogues as well. But for us, it was something that I believed I was then capable of doing, because I could look at that and I could think not just the online selling, but the online recruiting with Facebook. I thought that this was now something I could do and that I could fit in around my work and my kids. I thought I can do this. I can sit at home on my phone. I can post of an evening. I can post, in work, in between appointments and things. So I think the belief then obviously came with that. And I've seen all the new products we were starting to sell with Care Life, and the big belief pushed me. And I think that's probably one of the biggest keys. If you believe you can do it, then you're you're going to give it your all even more, and you're going to get stuck in, and then that's why I think it started to work. But one of the reasons why I think it really worked for us is because we've kept it really simple. And it's not that, I think sometimes you can overcomplicate things. People can try and professionalize it a bit too much as well. And that's where things, for me, I think we struggled a bit, because trying to get people to follow the system, it was complicated, it was hard. So we kept it really, really simple, and we, decided that we just had to put our focus into this. And these are what I believe our, the three fundamentals are, the same as everything, which is retailing. I think you really need to master retailing, because if you master it and like you really enjoy it and you get hooked on it and you like it, then it's easy then to go on and teach others and to carry on getting that addiction from it as well. So to get people that are addicted to the selling, I think that's a big factor in it. Sponsoring, again, we don't want to overcomplicate it. It's just sharing a great idea. And I think this is where it can go wrong. People can look into it. I mean, when we first started, we were being told by a lot of people that we needed to wait at least a year before we even looked into sponsoring. And we were like, all right, okay. And now I'm like, wow, that's just like, why would you do that? We are just sharing a great idea. So again, I think if you put that in someone's head, there's a reason why you've got to wait a year, because it's really hard, it's complicated, and there's a lot more to it. So then people will panic and think you can't do it. So again, just keep it dead simple. And then the third one, I put become a signpost. And the reason why I put this instead of a coach or a leader, because I think that when you're new, if you are brand new and you're going to start retailing, and you're going to start recruiting straight away, you can't instantly become a coach and a leader overnight. And you just need to get good at pointing people in the direction of all the information. So keep it simple. Again, don't overcomplicate things, and get good at pointing them in the information. And put those slides in the wrong place either. Right, so you need to get good at getting people to events. You need to get good at getting people to meetings, on webinars, on the Zooms, and around the people that know this business inside and out. Because like I say, if we are expecting people to recruit from day one, which is what we are doing, because we're not making a big deal out of it, then, and we're saying to them, come in, yeah, it's a network marketing company, so sign your mates up. If we are expecting that, then we can't expect them to know the ins and outs of the pay plan, to know everything about the DSA, to know the business and develop into a great leader overnight. You just can't expect that of people. So if you say to them, you sign people up, you point them this way, as long as all the information's there and you're pointing them in the right direction, then people that want to do it, people that want to become a leader and want to grow a business, will just step up to the plate. They'll want to find that information anyway. They'll want to do that. So it becomes easier then to get people going. So we do encourage sponsoring from day one. And again, I think it's because we don't make a big thing out of it. We just say, yeah, you can sell some stuff, you can introduce your friends and family to the business, and then you can earn more money that way as well. And because we just keep it as basic as that, no one has a problem with sharing a review from the cinema or from a restaurant that they've been to, and it's just the same, only you're helping people actually make money rather than spend money. So, it is really simple, I think. And if you kind of keep to that and not overcomplicate it, again, I do keep stressing on that, because I think so many people really can overcomplicate things. And yeah, we know that there's a lot to learn and to develop into a great leader and a coach. That's going to come, but by doing the do, you're going to learn anyway. You're going to go through all these difficulties and understandings, and they're all preparing you and getting you ready, to become a better leader. And when the right people start coming your way, you're going to be ready for them, because you've been practicing on all these people that you're bringing in. So something you need to think about as well, if you do want to then grow into a leader. So for us, we were understanding that this was becoming quite simple for us. We were advertising on Facebook, we were advertising everywhere, we were telling friends and family, warm market, and people were joining, and people were copying us, and we were getting lots and lots of people joining our team. And that's great. But as well, at the same time, we do want to become great leaders. This is not just something to make a bit of extra money. We really want to make this work for us. And we've obviously been looking at other people and looking at other great leaders in the business and in other businesses. We're looking at why they are so good. And what I believe is, if you want to be followed, you have to kind of be worthy of being followed. It's not something that you just go and learn to do. You kind of become that person by doing the work. People start to look up to you and want to be like you, and I think that's how you start to develop as a leader. So if you want to be followed, I think you've got to think about who you want to be followed by. What type of people do you want in your business? If you think about, the perfect distributor, who are the people that you'd like to have in your team like that? Look at other people. Look at Lynn McDonald and the people she's attracted into her business. That's not by chance. She's attracted them because she's a great leader herself. So you've got to think about that and think, well, would them people want to follow you? Would they want to be in your team? What type of person do you want to be followed by? And how do you portray yourself? And I think this is an important one, because lots and lots of people say, and to a point it is true, but lots of people will say, I don't care what other people think about me. And yeah, in some ways that's fine, but at the same time, if you don't care what other people think about you in this type of industry, you're not going to get very far, because people are looking at you, they're looking at your lifestyle, they're looking at how you are as a person, and that's usually why they join your business. Because a lot of people will look at your life and think, well, that looks fun, or that looks good, I think I'll join her. Whereas if you're someone that complains all the time, if you always putting things on Facebook like, how skint you are, or how things are going wrong, and you're just complaining a lot, then you're not going to be seen as someone who they're going to go, oh wow, she looks like she has a nice life. So they're not going to want to join you. So you have got to think about that. And then, so you have got to, care what people think about you. But you've got to remember that you're being watched at all times as well, and especially with social media now. It's surprising. You don't even know half the time who your friends are on Facebook and what people are watching you. And seeing what you're doing, especially prospects. You could add someone on Facebook, and it could be a year or two down the line before they actually decide they want to join. But that might be because they've been watching your business grow for the last year or two. So are they going to watch your business sink and then they think, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that? You don't want that. You need to be showing them how well you're doing and how much you're enjoying it, even if you're not doing well yet. You need to be putting across how much you love it. So one thing we've got to remember though as well is that not everyone wants to become a leader. So again, this is something that when we struggled with a little bit at first, because we couldn't understand that. We thought that everyone that joined us wanted to be earning, £10,000 a month and driving a Ferrari and becoming a Premier, all this, and they don't. Not everybody does. And this is where you can actually put people off. If you just keep it simple, some people want £50 a week. Some people just want to, put food on the table. Some people just want a bit of extra spending money. They just want something to do. This isn't for everyone to go into a great leader, but you have to kind of value everyone, understand what it is that they want, and kind of get that and let them do what they want. So, if you do just want to sell a little bit of stuff, then that's fine. If you have lots and lots of people in your team that just want to sell a bit of stuff, that's great. It's going to make you a great income. And obviously, again, you're going to find the good ones along the way. And it's like not pushing people too far to do things that you don't actually want. Sometimes you want it more for them than they do, and we've done that. So it's just watching what they do and seeing if they do want to. So value everyone in your team, and then the cream will always rise to the top. The good ones will come through. We have gone through a lot of people in our team, and to find them few rare diamonds, it's hard. So you've got to keep going. We were them people that said in the first couple of years, you can't get anyone that sticks, you can't get anyone that wants to do anything. We said that all the time. But then when we kind of just accepted that and thought, well, if we bring enough of these people in that still only want to do a bit, if we just have a lot of them, the volume is going to start making us our money. And we kind of just looked at it in that way. And then when people do want to do something with it, we're ready for them and we can move on with them. And that's what happened then. We started to get better, better people coming in. So it can take time for momentum to build up and duplication to get going, to start. That really can take time. But you have to give it the time it needs. And I think something that's important is you have to let go of the outcome. We was far too attached to becoming gold, and I think it was holding us back because it wasn't happening quick enough. I think if you're too attached to it, that's what happens. It's like people who are attached to the goal are like, say they really want to lose weight and they really need to lose weight and they go on a diet and then an hour later they weigh themselves and then they weigh themselves a couple of hours later and then they weigh themselves the next day and then they've not lost enough weight that week and they go, oh, sorry, it doesn't work, and give up. And that can happen a lot, but then people are usually the ones that need to lose it the most. But they're so attached to that it totally tears them away from the fact that they've just got to be patient and they've got to let go of it. And you've really got to be happy with where you are right now. And I think once that happens and once you become happy with where you are right now, that's when it all just starts to take shape and all just starts to happen. It did for us anyway. So you just need to give it time and you need to believe. So for us, like I say, it is in our first year now, we had our yearly turnover was £9,600 in the whole year. And new team members was 0. That was just us. That was just our retail. That was just us playing with it a bit. And then the second year we done a bit. So we got 22 team members, and we done £30,000. In the year. Again, we were just starting to dabble with sponsoring a bit towards the end of that year. And then the next year we done £88,000 and we had 106 team members. So it was starting to move for us now. This was the year that we went gold, halfway through that year. And then the following year, we done £440,000 and we had 609 team members. Now, if we'd have gave up at year 2 or year 3, we wouldn't have got to that stage. And now, we're into our 5th year, and we've already had 517 new team members. So nearly the same as what we had in the whole of last year, and we're only at the beginning of May. And yet, it's just at a point where it's just duplicating out, it's just rippling out, and so many people are copying us. But you know what? In the first couple of years, nobody was copying us, nobody at all. And in fact, the year that we went gold, we only started to get some duplication towards the end of the year. I mean, we had 106 team members, and we brought in 90 odd of them. So we only had a few people copying us, even when we did go gold. So, and that year, we qualified for Jamaica and India and Paris, and we got the 30-30 challenge, and we went gold, and we done all of that by just us. So no one was copying us. This was just us, just doing it ourselves. And then because we just done that ourselves, people then, I think if you do it yourself as well, people can believe that they can do it themselves. Because people look at some people's teams and you think, well, they've got everyone else recruiting as well. I can't do that. Whereas if you do it yourself and you're sure you can do it just you, then people believe that they can do it themselves as well then. So obviously then we started to get people copy us, and some of the people in our team, especially, Rachel Folger, she's having absolutely amazing success and she's really growing fast. And, we started to attract these people because we were just focusing on what we were doing. And Rachel was actually the last to join. We've got 3 gold legs, and Clare and Hannah joined well before Rachel. And Rachel's just, flying ahead of all of them now. She's only been in a year. So, it takes time, but it will happen if you just keep going with it as well. So some tips for success before I answer all your questions. So I think you need to make a whatever it takes decision. And I think this is important because, again, you can battle in your own head about whether it's going to work, about just trying it, and you'll see, and you give it so many years. And I think if you make the decision that you're never going back, burn all the bridges and everything, and there's no way but this way, then you've got to make it work, and it makes it easier for you to just get going with it as well. You have to develop patience, which is something I really struggled with because I've never been a patient person ever, and sometimes I still struggle with it a bit, but I I think you have to kind of just let go of that. Be consistent with your activity. I think that that's probably the biggest key to the whole thing. You know, I was talking the other day in my group, and I done like a post about the tortoise and the hare. You know, and the tortoise didn't win because it was slow. The tortoise won because it was consistent, and that is the difference. It doesn't matter how fast you are. It doesn't matter how fast you get there. We weren't fast at getting there. We just stuck with it, and we were just consistent each day. And if you do that, that's when momentum starts to build up. It's the everyday little things that you think don't matter actually make all the difference. You know, I can look at people's businesses, like Rachel in our team. Lots of people say to me, like my other two go, like, and say, well, what does Rachel do different? Why is Rachel having such success? Because you're teaching us the same as you're teaching Rachel. And the difference is Rachel has totally and utterly mastered the mundane. It's the little things that she does every single day, regardless, that makes the big impact all in all, where other people may decide to put things off till the next day, you know, and you might not do everything every day, and it might be a few days here, it might be a few days there, where Rachel just does it regardless, and all them little things mount up. And that is what makes the difference. It's never one key point you can put your finger on and say, it's because she has this secret recruiting tool. It's not. It's just that she does all the little things that she needs to do every single day, no matter what. Keeping things simple again. You can't overcomplicate things. You know, a lot of people overcomplicate things. I've got a lady that's just joined us that's been in another network marketing company for a good few years, and she's done really well in this company. And it kind of went a bit backwards for her, and she's now started with us and trying to get her to simplify things now. We're struggling with, because the way she was taught to do it was so different to the way we do, and everything's really complicated. And I think it can be off-putting to your new team members as well if you make things too overcomplicated. So you've got to keep things simple that a child could follow, anyone can follow if you join. Surround yourself with people that pull you up all the time. It's really hard if you've got a lot of negativity around you, and you know, sometimes I struggle a lot with people in our team. Some of them have it at home. You know, it could be the partners that believe that this business doesn't work and they're constantly on the back, or the friends and family. And if you're around that all the time, it's not good for you, because it's constant negativity going in your head. You need to be surrounded by people that pull you up. So, you know, be friends with everyone on Facebook. Try and get into as many, you know, meetings as you can, trying to speak to more people. Speak to your upline every single day. Just try and get that all the time in your head, so that that's constantly picking you up, so that you're not being pulled down at all. Focus on the people in your team and not the money. So focus on building them up. So when someone wants to step up and they want to start building a team, you know, focus on building them as a person. Your check will come in the end anyway, but if you focus on that, you will get there, because you want leaders. You don't want people that you're doing it for them, because that's just the worst thing. You want to teach them for them to do it themselves. You know, like they say, with the teach a man to fish, you feed himself forever, or give him a fish and you feed for the day. You don't want that. You really want people that can want it like you and stand the test of time like yourself. Learn from everything and everyone, because new people that are coming in all the time. Technology, everything is changing so much. This business is changing so much all the time. You know, and again, it's not that I don't think that the catalogue side doesn't work, because I do think the catalogue side works. But with the online side now, I think that it's easy to get people in. And I think once you get them hooked on selling, you can move them on to catalogues, which is what we promote, because we do want customer bases, because we want that solid sales every month. But, you know, years ago, to find extra money, this cataloguing type of opportunity was probably one of the only opportunities around, and it would be quite few and far between. Even though network marketing's about, it wasn't as heard of. Now, because of social media, now it's everywhere. There's so many businesses out there. So if we was to say to someone, oh, you have to just do catalogues and you have to go out for hours and you've got to put the books on, you might not get any sales, but you might. And then someone on Facebook says, well, come and join my team selling this stuff on Facebook, I'll earn you extra money. They're going to pick the easy opportunity. So they kind of go that way now. even though you will still get people that want a catalogue, so we do advertise for both, but a lot of people will look for the easy route. So if you're one of them easy routes, then they can come to you. And then once you get them hooked on the selling, you can get them into the catalogue, you get the welcome rewards, you get them out, and they start building the customers up that way as well. Be the nicest person that you can be, but the strongest as well. You know, I think it's really important that you are nice and that you're nice to everyone, but not to be walked all over either. You have to be able to be strong enough to tell people what they need to know, not just what you think they want to hear. Especially when, you know, they're in your team and you're helping them. I think that's important. And help as many people as you can. You know, you do get back what you give. I really do think that's important. You know, some people will try and keep things to themselves, but I don't see the point in it, to be honest, because if it was the information that grew the business, then I'd tell every single person in my team, this is what we do, and they would all just instantly go and do it. They'd all just instantly become gold. We'd have all these gold legs, but it's not the information that does it. You could go and give an alcoholic a piece of paper and say, this is the information to stop becoming an alcoholic. All right, okay, I'm going to stop becoming an alcoholic. It doesn't work like that. It's all about the person. It's all about them putting the work in. It's all about what goes in their head. It's about the consistency. It's how they do it. So, you know, it's not about keeping things to yourself, because that type of person, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it whether you welcome them or not. So I'd rather be treated as someone that will help people and not someone that just wants to keep it to themselves, because there's no point really, is there? So, you know, if we all help each other, you do get back, I think, what you give anyway. So I do think that's an important one. And then keep rechecking and tweaking where needed all the time. So obviously things do develop and things change, and we can always, you know, this is how we're going to do it, this is our system, this is what we're going to do, but always revisit it and think, well, I could add in this now because that's changed, and we could add in that, and maybe that doesn't work anymore. And I think you've always got to keep going. Like this, what they say, is it that when the spaceship goes up, it's off course something like 95% of the time, all the way up. Yeah, so but it gets there in the end, because it's constantly got to keep finding the right way and keep tweaking it. So it's not just one way and that's it. You can't just be, you know, tunnel vision. You've always got, and that's why when I go back to learning from everything and everyone, because like this, what's that saying I've seen, and it said average people learn from their situations, and then what is it? Average people learn from the situations they've been through. And successful people will learn from everything and everyone, and idiots learn from their own mistakes, or something like that. Where you've got to kind of take into account what other people know as well. And, you know, like I say, because everything's changing all the time, you can't just think it's your way or no way, because there's so much that people can learn all of the time. So that's it for me on my little talk. I wasn't really sure what it is you wanted on that. So I've put on the questions here, and I'll go through answering these questions now. So the first one, sorry, my control panel's covered that bit. Hang on. What stopped you from giving up when things got tough? Well, the belief, really, to be honest, the belief is what stopped us from giving up. Because beforehand, like I said, before we went to Jamaica, so the first 2 years, we wasn't doing a great deal yet. The first year wasn't doing anything, Christmas retailing, and that was it. The second year, we started to do a bit, and we were starting to team build a bit, and we were getting people in, but we weren't doing an awful lot. So we weren't really working as hard, shall we say, as what we do now. So then it wasn't that hard to say, oh, I can't do this anymore, I'm giving up. It wasn't that hard what we were doing. We were just kind of, you know, going along. Well, it might work. We'll try it. And then obviously when we qualified for Jamaica, the belief grew then, because we knew that Clean Easy worked. We had the belief in Clean Easy because we could see it all around us. We could see all the successful people. But I weren't quite sure before whether we believed that it worked for us. Where when we got for Jamaica, our belief grew then. It's like, well, we've just done this. We've just qualified for this holiday. So now we've got the belief. So if we can do it, we can do it again. And we've kind of used that as stepping stones. It's always been for the next trip. That is what grew our business. Once we got there, we didn't want to miss one. So it was like, all right, okay, so what we're going to do now then to go to the next trip, we need to get to Gold for House, right? We need to do this quick, because the thought of missing that trip, because we had that deadline, was obviously something that we actually were pushing for, and because we've done it once, we believe we could do it again. So I think that kept us going then. And then the more that grew, the bigger our vision grew, because we didn't see past, all we wanted was £9,000 of sales, just gold. We didn't see any further than that. Didn't think we were in a million years capable of getting any further than that. So it was always just focusing on that next trip and that next trip and that next trip. And then the next minute, all of a sudden, by going for each one of them trips, we've got all these other things as well. So that's definitely something that having these incentives is really good. It's something to keep pushing for. So the next question, can you tell us what you do step by step with a Facebook lead? Do you talk them on the phone or messenger, video, etc.? Right, okay, so from what happens is if I put an advert on Facebook now, if I was put an ad on and someone messaged me and said, can I have some more information? I send them a message straight away on Facebook, and it's just a template message that it's very basic, to be honest. It just says like, oh, we just sell some stuff. I don't necessarily mention that it's just on Facebook, because we do want cataloguers as well. So I just put, we sell some stuff. There's a few ways of doing it. You can do it with the catalogues, you can do it online. So put that, so it's got in it a few ways of selling. So you set up on Facebook, you can sell on Facebook, you can sell online. Have a look at this video, sorry, yeah. So I have the video then, the independent video. I send that, and then straight away after that, I send them about 6 pictures of products. I used to send them links to the websites and catalogs and stuff, but I found they weren't actually flicking through. So I send them about 6 pictures, and it's pictures that are quite eye-grabbing pictures of nice Care Life products. So I send them straight away before they even have a chance to click on the video or respond, and that usually grabs their eye. They kind of look at it and go, oh, they're nice, and then they'll watch the video. And then wait for a response, and when they respond, then either with yes, I'm interested. Usually they come back and say, I'll sell online. If they come back and say, I'll sell online, I send them again. It's a template message that just explains that it's £25 to get started, and that you get the money back in the first 30 days if you don't want to continue, so it's risk free. I send them that, and then straight after that, I send them a link to my selling group, and I send them the link to the Care Life catalogue, and I say, have a little look at what we sell. That usually kind of wins them over. That's when it's quite basic. I will get people who come back. If they come back and say, you want to do catalogues, I arrange to form them, because it's not really a message you can put. If you explain all the kit and everything in a message, you just get put off by the prices and stuff. So I will ring them then. Or if you start asking lots of questions, I'll get into questions with them. And some of them I will say, do you want me to call you? Depends how they kind of, how they're being with it, really. But it's mainly done via messenger, all this. But when, once I get them to join, I do phone them up. I do want them on the phone straight away then, because I think it's important to build a relationship with them. Some don't like you ringing them, so I just kind of ring them on Facebook, like usually in the middle of messaging, so that they kind of like look and think, oh, but I'll answer now because she's talking to me right now, so I'll have to answer. And I just try and make them feel at ease straight away, really, and be quite down to earth with them, and say, oh, I just thought it was easy to ring and trying to explain all this. And I think once you get that with them, it's definitely more likely to stick if you build a bit of a relationship with them. I do have a video that I send, but that's for when they've set up. That's like a newcomer's video, and it's just dead basic, like some little tips in it. So it'll just be like, right, okay, so you've got your group set up, a few little tips in there, like posting pictures individually, not, posting a big album, inviting friends and family, asking some of them to comment and like some of the products. Just little tips like that, really, that we've picked up that work. Even though I do go through all this with them anyway, I kind of just send it in a video as well, just so it's there so that we can go back over. So how do we get our new person off to a fast start? Well, basically, again, we have the same process. So they'll sign up. Once they've signed up, I send them the videos. I use the Andy Boswell's videos, the Sell on Facebook. I send them videos first of all, and I say, right, I set them up their selling group. I find it a little bit easier to do that, so I just set them up their selling group. So I send them the videos. If you just want to have a look at these videos, I'm just going to get you a group set up and add you to some support groups. So then, whilst I'm setting them a group up, and I'll add them in like our team page and picture group, things like that, then they tend to watch them then, so I know that they've watched them while I'm doing that. Then I come back, I have I send them like a system, and I say, just keep this safe, like save it in your notes or a message. And it's just basically, again, it is just like what we use on the Andy Boswell sell on Facebook thing, and it's just got like things in there like, right, so your group set up, add about 20 pictures before you add any friends, and then add some friends and family, you know, ask them to comment and like on some posts. I asked them to write a list of the first 5 people that they're going to give the catalogues to when they come, and then the next 5, and then the next 5, to try and turn them around and explain that they're probably what's going to get them the welcome rewards to start them off. And I kind of encourage that really as well, because I think everyone that gets off to a fast start, it's friends and family that get them off to a fast start, not necessarily the buying and selling groups. That's something that I think builds up over time. So yeah, kind of encouraging them to use the friends and family a lot. Some people won't get off to the same fast start. Some people don't get that with the friends and family, and it's just the way it is. You know, we get some that fly and some that struggle, and we help them all the same way. And the way we say it is, it's going to take 6 months to blanket off all the buying and selling sites to find customers, and over them 6 months, you know, of posting your adverts, you'll find customers to get in your group, which is your online customer base. And eventually you'll only need to really post in that group once you've built that up. And then we just really stress on, you know, customer service and making the group a little stand out a little bit, you know, maybe make it fun with games and things, and just ways of making it more personal, and all like live videos of the products. So that definitely makes it more personal as well, and we tend to get people sticking then. So the next one, what did you do differently between going to Jamaica and the end of the year? So we basically just got stuck in. Something I didn't mention before, which I've just thought about now, is the first part of that year. So the year we went to Jamaica, we went in the May, but say from the January or from the Christmas onwards, when we started pushing for Jamaica for Christmas, we spent so much time looking at everyone else's business. And you know, we are in a successful group. The focus group is a successful group, and there's lots of people flying in there. And we joined at the same time as Jackie and Stephen McCormack. We joined in the same month. And by this point, so we were still, you know, £500 turnover. They were doing about 30 grand. And we joined at the same time. And we were looking at them and looking at other people in their group. I mean, the amount of people they were bringing in. We have key meetings once a month, Mike and Jean holds, and we go to these meetings, and you do your best all month, you know, like to sign people in to get the activations, and because like you'd have like an activations trophy and things, and you think you'd do really well, you'd go there, and you might, you know, some months I might have done like 8 and be like, oh, we've got 8 activations, you might be at the top. We get there and they'd done 20. You know, it was like no matter what we'd done, they were always better. And that was really tough for us at that point, because we were always comparing ourselves to them. And we were always looking at what they were doing. We were trying to figure out what the big secret was. And that was really, really distracting. And because we were spending so much time looking at everyone else's business, we could have been spending that time that we were looking at them into just doing the work. And when we realised that, it was all a bit of a light bulb moment, really. It was Ian Williams done a talk at the team meeting. He put like a typical day of what he'd done. And I was so shocked at how much he did that it was like, oh my God, now I know. It's not that we did anything different to us, to just do more than us. And when I realised that, we just got stuck in, and then it happened. We just stopped looking. We just started focusing on what we were doing. I didn't care what anyone else was doing. I wasn't bothered anymore. And then it happened really quick. So that is what we've done different. We just stopped wasting our time looking for the secret, when the secret was just to actually do the work. So that was what that difference was. So what's my typical day? I've been struggling with this one because my day is so different all the time. Because I'm a mobile hairdresser now and I'm not in the salon, I don't have a structure, and it's really, really hard for me because I'm mad busy all of the time. But like, so I'll say for today. So for today, I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning to go and pick my son up from work. He's been working night shifts at a factory where we're not far from us. So I was up at 5 for him, went and picked him up. I come home, I got back about 4:45. I started doing some figures that I needed to do for end of period that we have to give to Jackie White at the end of the month, and there's a lot I have to do. So I started doing things like that, activations and things. Then I got my kids ready for school. Sorry, before I got my kids ready for school, I posted some ads on Facebook. Then I get my kids ready for school, pack lunches, things like that done. I then had a coaching call at 9 o'clock for about 9:30, and then another one till about 10 to 10. And I went to work at 10. I got home at about 2, and then I had another coaching call, put out some more ads. Then I went to take my son for a job interview. Then I went and done some deliveries. Then I went back to work for a bit. Then I done a coaching call in the car on the way back. Then I come home. I've done some adverts, done some more, trying to do these activation figures, and then putting these slides together. So my days tomorrow will be completely different again. So tomorrow I'm in work all day for my hairdressing. So I'll get up early. I'll do all my recruiting ads before work. I'll go to work. I'll have quite a lot of phone calls off team members and know tomorrow because it's end of period. So it'll be like in the car in between appointments. I'll be on the phone back and to people, responding to adverts as and when I can on my phone again. And then I've got like a Zoom tomorrow night with my team at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, and up until end of period I'll do a math one anyway when I get home from work, checking people for bonuses and things. But my day is different all the time like that, but it's quite hectic like that all the time as well. And I think that's why I preferred the online side of things, not necessarily the online selling, but the online recruiting, at the fact that I could just sit and message people in the car, in work, in between things, because having to fit full appointments in with prospects was something that I couldn't do. As you can see, my days are up and down all the time. I get up early in the morning, and that's probably my most proactive time of the day is early in the morning. And I can't phone people at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I can post adverts, I can do all that type of stuff. So, you know, for me, I think once I kind of understood that I could do this via Messenger, it just gave me great relief. I thought, I can do that. I can actually do that. I've got time to do that. And that's why I think it's worked for us. But yeah, like I say, I don't have a daily plan, but I have like a checklist book. So what I do is I get up in the morning and I have like a diary. And on one side I have people that I need to contact that day, like have to speak to that day. So, you know, that's usually like, you know, key people like my 3 goals. They're usually always on that list. New people, people that I know that have got any kind of issues that I need to speak to. And again, a lot of them can be in the car, me driving around while I'm speaking to them. It might not be for long. So I have that on one side. I then have like a to-do list. So some days my to-do list is a lot bigger than others. You know, if I am in work with my hairdressing, I might not have an awful lot on it. But I do have things, even if it's things like, you know, putting a return on, doing the orders, doing deliveries, or, you know, whatever. So I'll have that there. I then have like little columns where it's for my Facebook ads. So I have like little circles that say 20, 20, 20. And as soon as I've done 20 ads, I'll circle it. So I can look and check I'm doing at least 60. I want to try and do at least 60 every day. So I can look at that and check I've done that. I then have join 10 groups. I join 10 groups every day, so I need to make sure I tick that off. I have underneath then the morning routine and the evening routine that I need to tick. So when I go to bed, I always write my goals down every night before I go to sleep. Now I've done this now for like just over a year. So I do that every night. and I have a YouTube like video, and it's like this law of attraction success meditation thing, and I put it in my ears and I go to sleep. I just listen to it, and it's just this man telling me I'm going to be successful and you are going to do well and all of that. And whether it actually works, I have no idea. But from starting that, our business grew. So I'm not stopping just in case it isn't that. So I do that every night before I go to bed. And then when I get up in the morning, first thing I do as soon as I open my eyes is watch something on YouTube. So I usually like some kind of like either a motivational video or like a gym rowing training or something. I'll find something to watch as soon as I open my eyes and get up and do. So that's like my plan, if you know what I mean. It's like I can't always structure when it's going to be done, but as long as I go to bed at night knowing that everything on there has been ticked, then I'm happy and I know I can do it. So right, so I'd be interested to know what you're reading. Okay, so I've written down at the minute I'm actually reading again, and I've read this book before, but I really like it. Dare to Dream, Work to Win. I think it's got loads of great tips in there for becoming a great leader as well. I really like that book. So I'm reading that one, but something that I really recommend is The Slight Edge. I just think that, again, all the little things, mastering all them little things, the compound effect is really good as well, but I really like The Slight Edge. Making a shift, yeah, that one's a really good one, especially if you're new and it's like changing like into network marketing. Miracle Morning, I don't know whether any of you have heard that one. That's a really, really good one. And Dave O'Connor, my network marketer, when we first started listening to Dave O'Connor stuff, that is when all our business grew. He's got a CD, The Alchemy Formula, we'd have it on in the car constantly. All of that, once we kind of started to understand in our own head, because I think it's all down to your belief, I really do. And I think if you've got some kind of, limiting beliefs there that's stopping you, that think you're not really capable of doing something, you don't throw yourself into it wholeheartedly. And that CD definitely helped us overcome all that and made us start to believe more. So they're ones I definitely recommend, and I definitely recommend having CDs on in the car all of the time, wherever you go. Okay, so Clare gets commitment, so many new starts to achieve welcome rewards. How Clare gets right, okay, so how do I get them commit to the welcome rewards? Is that, or do I? Okay, so again, when people start, it is something that we kind of make a big point of. We need them to get £150 of orders quick. So obviously we try and get that in as quick as possible, and that's obviously going to give them the first welcome reward, which is going to get them off to a good start once we get them catalogues as well. I mean, we don't get everybody to the second welcome rewards and the third, but we obviously try and keep, the more we do and the more we support them. But something to do, I kind of keep records. I have an app on my phone called Evernote, and it's just like a reminder app, really. And I'll set dates. So when someone joins, I'll put in when they're halfway through the 30 days, when they've got a week to go, and when they've got a day to go. And each time I get an alarm with that person's name on, and then I can go to them and say to them, you're halfway through, how are we getting on? Or, you've only got a week to go now, till it ends, or you've got a day to go. And we can kind of keep track on that then, to keep that going. And then, so the next question is, what are your top personal tips for maintaining a successful business? Well, I think I've kind of gone through the top tips on the other page, yeah. So it is just kind of being consistent, really, and having belief. And I think you've got to go with your strengths as well. So, like for me, my strength was the online and like 7 people messages. But if your strength is on the phone doing appointments, I think you should do that. I don't think it's about what's right way or the wrong way. I think it's whatever's your strength. Because if it's your strength and you can do it, and you're going to have that belief and you're going to throw yourself into it then. So I think that's definitely important. Do you ever find yourself unmotivated and making excuses, and what do you want to snap out of it? I used to a lot more than I do now. I don't as much now, I'll be honest. But there is times when sometimes you can't be bothered a little bit. Like some things, like with the things that are not as fun, maybe doing me deliveries or something. Sometimes I'll think, I might do it tomorrow, but then I have to try and no, just get yourself going and get going with it. Because we all have points, don't we, where you might not be less motivated. But I think it's just, if you've got someone to answer to, if you've been trying to get like maybe a partner to kick you up the backside, each other, if there's, you know, both of you, especially if you do it a lot, you need someone to kind of kick you up the backside, don't you? Say, no, you're not allowed, you've got to get going. But I think if you've got a list, so something that my husband finds really works for him is he has like a checklist. It's like a checklist that he has, and it has all kinds of things, but it kind of has points for it. It was something he got out, I think it was out of the Compound Effect book, maybe, and this daily habits sheet, it's called, and you kind of get points for doing daily habits. So it's not even things that are really you might think are really important. It's little things like doing the dishes, anything. And he has all these things on there, but they're all things that compounded will, you know, make you feel better if everything's done and put you in a better frame of mind. And he's dead competitive in that way, that he needs to get his points. So even if it's something like that, and you have like things that you don't want to do, like the returns, just give them the bigger points. You know, that you've got to make sure you've got to get done and keep yourself going. Just other ways to motivate yourself like that. So what do you find is the best way of getting successful leads? Well, to be honest, we probably get most of our leads off Facebook. That's probably where most of them come from. We are in an ads pool as well. We're in an ads pool like Total Jobs, so we get people come through off that. But that's it, really. Other than that, and Warm Market. So we don't really advertise anywhere else as such yet. We do sometimes do flyers, like Chris will fly when he does catalogues. And we've got some like adverts up in places like shop ads and posters and things. But actively, like each day, advertising it is really Facebook and our Total Job adverts. What do you find the best catalogue is most successful for you? The catalogue that's most successful for me personally for my sales is actually the Clean Easy catalogue. We're cataloguers, and our sales come from Clean Easy. Most of our catalogue people buy from there. We do get some from Life, but the big amount is Clean Easy. But then online, Clean Easy, Life does better on Facebook, but Clean Easy does better on things like eBay. So I think they're both just the same. You know, Life is quite eye-catching. So on Facebook, they stand out, them products, it is going to catch people's eyes. But when people are looking for products, so like on eBay or whatever, when people are actually searching for something, it's not that they're not jumping out on them, they're not seeing them, they're actually looking for hard to find products, which obviously Clean Easy sell lots of hard to find products, so they're good for that. So your typical day, so I've already given you a typical day there, haven't I? Do you prefer online or catalogues? Again, I prefer the online recruiting, and I'm getting people to join online, definitely, but then we do get them into cataloguing because we want solid customer bases. How do you manage to keep track of such successful business? I mean, obviously, there's hundreds of people in our team now, really is lots of people, but we've got good leaders, and we're all working together. You know, each one of our goals each one of our team will look after their team, but then we all obviously work together as well. So we have regular meetings. We have our Zoom meetings on a Monday night. We have leaders meetings as well. We've got our Facebook group. We've got our chats. So we're all in there talking to each other. I mean, we've got for obviously looking at the business, we've got the Easy Tracker where we can be looking through and looking at, you know, people's PSGs for bonuses and things like that. And it does get a lot when there's lots of people that you're trying to make sure everyone's on track. But if you're teaching your leaders to do that, and then it gets easier because they're watching them anyway. You've not got to manage everybody. You just kind of, as a whole, looking over it all. And what would your most motivational quote be? Actually, I think it's this one. I love this one, and it says, "Success is not owned; it's rented, and the rent is due every single day." And that one, to me, it's like I have that on the screensaver on my phone, and that's something that motivates me. It's something that keeps me going because yes, things are going really well for us at the minute, and yes, we're being successful with it. But if we stop, then it's going to stop, and we've got to keep this going. We've got to, you know, if there is times when we're thinking, oh, you know, feeling a bit lazy, then that is something that most definitely picks you back up because we're obviously nowhere near ending, so we want to keep this going. So yes, so that's all the questions. Thank you. So I don't know if anyone's got any more, whether you unmute yourself
Well,
or
if
not.
there's any more, it's their own fault they didn't ask them, because that was outstanding, Claire.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Everybody can take the mics off just to say a massive thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.